What is up, guys? Today I'm gonna walk you through the perfect clear water jig. You know, I fish deep, clear mountain reservoirs, and a jig is a great tool, but you gotta throw it different in clear water. So here's my clear water jig setup, kind of the tricks and tools you can use and do to get you a good clear water jig, because everybody knows a jig catches big bass. I don't know if it can catch numbers and it can catch bigs. So let's go through clear water jig fishing. You ready? Yeah. Okay, this is the clear water jig stuff, okay? So I'm gonna walk you through my thought process in making a good clear water jig and how to rig them up. So basically, with clear water, you want to use like lighter, 1/4 ounce, and this is the reason why. You just got to be more finesse, and when you cast and you make a big splash, you spook the fish easier. You know, a lot of the pros will use 1/2 ounce and 3/4 ounce jigs, but they're really good at dropping it in the water without making a splash. And I can do that, but I'm not super consistent with it. So I always go with a lighter jig. These are all just 1/4 ouncers. I'll do 3/8, and this is a 1/2 ounce if I want to fish deeper, which is a really good idea in deep clear water reservoirs. I don't know if you noticed the color. It's all green pumpkin. Pretty much this one's digital camo, just green with black flake. This is a Denny Brauer structure jig. It's just like a blue craw. It's green pumpkin and blue. And then I use these kinds of craw trailers. My favorite is the Pit Boss. But what a lot of people don't realize is crayfish are two-toned. They're lighter on the bottom than they are on the top, just like a bass or a fish. So I really like this. This is a Pit Boss chunk in summer craw. It's like a green pumpkin top and then a lighter belly. And that can make a real big difference. Like this Kitech, it has like a lighter orange belly. This one kind of has like a light chartreuse. This one might be a little too chartreusey. And this one's straight green pumpkin. This one works really good, but again, I like the natural bottom and the dark on the top. I'm gonna use this one today because I think it'll work fine, but the clearer the water is, the more natural you got to make that jig look. So I'm gonna take this 1/8 ounce. My favorite style head are these, I think they call them like arky heads, because you're not always pitching in clear water. You're casting a lot because you got to make long casts to get to those fish. So an arky head is a great casting jig head, and it's also a good pitching jig head. Rarely do you flip in clear water unless you're at the mouth of the reservoir where there's some dirty water coming in. So as you take a look at this jig, it's got a little bit of orange, which I dig. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but it's a real well put together jig. Everything matches. The green pumpkin weed guard. And the first thing you got to do is, crayfish are naturally in the lake. Usually they're a lot smaller. If you want to go for a really big bite, just use the jig out of the package. Use the full jig and you'll probably flip all day and get 4 or 5 bites, but they'll be bigs. If you're wanting to catch numbers and catch a few bigs, this is what I do to make my clear water jigs even better. So first thing I'm going to do is work on my jig. So I always take the skirt right at the base of the hook. See where the base of the hook is? And I just cut that right off here. Just make it real compact, real nice. That does a couple things. It improves your hookup ratio because they're going to bite over the hook more, and it just makes it real compact and real nice. The other thing I do is these weed guards, I fan out the top so they're easier to cut, and I trim them down so that you just don't have as much weed guard to go through. Look how much easier that is to stick them. And if it's still not easier to get to the hook, see how much easier that goes over the hook? It'll still prevent you from hanging up, but trimming the top off really makes a difference because you don't have to swing as hard to stick them. And then I'll usually take out, just depending on how stiff your weed guard is, this one's pretty malleable, so I'm just going to take out like 2 or 3 of the front ones, make it even more. Ooh, yeah, that's sticky now. Okay, there's that. And then I take this Pit Boss, and I'm going to chunk it down, man. What you want to do is you want to make sure the phalanges are able to freely move and float. So I want that hook clear back here on that Pit Boss. So I'm going to have to trim, looks like about right there. You can buy the pit chunks, which are already trimmed, but you want to really trim up your jig and make it nice and compact. So then you just thread it on there. Get that hook right where you want it in the back, like we showed earlier. If you have a little super glue, dab it right in there. I'm out today, so hopefully I don't run through too many trailers. But there it is, nice and compact. That thing's going to stand up perfectly well. And then one last little trick. So the other thing that crayfish do is their claws are often a different color than their main body sometimes. So on this Pit Boss, I don't color all these phalanges, but I color just these main 2 ones. I'll do a little bit of blue, just make it a little bit darker, and then I'll just tip. Every crawdad has just like a nick of orange, just barely, little bit, and this is gonna be a freaking dynamite jig. And guarantee you nobody's doing this to their jigs, and you're gonna catch a lot of bass on it. So I'm gonna put a few of these together. I'm just gonna run you through the equipment you need. 1/4 ounce, 3/16 ounce jigs for clear water fishing, green pumpkin. This is a pepper custom camo pepper jig. Berkeley Pit Boss. I also like these Kitech crazy flappers. They're real nice natural color. And this is a Jackal Sasuteki craw. Those are some of my favorite craws. Put your favorite craw in there. As long as it's green and natural, it'll work. I like the Pit Boss because it's just a little bit bigger profile, and they seem to really dig it. So anyway, get you some scissors. These are garlic spike it pens. This one's crawfish orange, and this one's crawfish blue. So they make these in packs. You can get them on Amazon really cheap, and they're perfect for coloring and doctoring things up. But that's the jig. Look how it already naturally stands just perfectly. I'm gonna go wax them on this thing. So I'm gonna rig up a few of these jigs, go put them to work, and show you how well they can work in clear water. There's the 4 clear water jigs I'm gonna throw today. That's the only thing I'm gonna tie on my pole. Go out, flip them around this brush, kind of in a pre-spawn pattern right now. Hopefully we whack a few on them. Stoked. The structure bug, the Pepper Customs. This is the one we rigged up earlier. This is kind of the lighter bottom, darker top. You can see how natural that looks, but these jigs catch fish. Let's go. Oh, and I cut the Kitech off here at the top. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna throw. All right, here we are. Jig flipping country. Water's super clear. I'm gonna throw around these bushes, see if I get one. Just out at Gunlock Reservoir on my stage sup. See if I can make a good cast. Oh, got one right on the front of the bush on the jig. Tried the backside. He ate the front. Look at that. Woo! Clearwater jigs. He come out and pumped it. There you go. These things work. Clear water, pre-spawn, beautiful fish. Not a giant, but fun. Bye-bye. How's the flipping bite this morning? I caught one little one doing the same thing. There he is. Oh. Right behind those guys. That's the thing. Get the right jig. Got him. Yes. Woo. That's what's sweet about this little natural jig is fish it deep. I threw off this ledge. Wham, he whacked it. Definitely not up in the bushes as much as I'd hoped, but see this natural jig, you just flip it in, throw it deep. Freaking sick, man. Got another one. Flipping the tree. Oh, there's a better one. Nice. Just flipped right on that edge. Don't come out and whacked it. There you go. Woo! Natural colored jig. Make sure you go to the link in the description. Get you these jigs. Go to the blog post. Learn all about how to get set up to throw a jig for clear water. This is definitely the jam. These jigs, I still got the same one I originally tied on. So I'm gonna let this guy go and stay stoked.